This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
这是我。
This is me.
This is me.
And this is us.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of This Is Us. I am Dom, aka Blind Justice, and I got a good friend with me here who I had the opportunity to meet on Clubhouse. So, Scorp, can you introduce yourself for us?
Hello, everyone. My name is Gregory Jones, also known as Scorp on Clubhouse. I'm 53 years old. I'll be 54 at the 30th of this month of October. I'm from Hampton, South Carolina. Born and raised here.
Okay.
And I'll do it. Yeah.
Look, you jumped right on it. All right. So, okay. So you said your age. You said where you were from. Okay. What is the nature of your blindness?
I have what is known as retinitis pigmentosa,
Okay.
also known as RPE. Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to describe your vision to somebody who knew nothing about blindness, what would you tell them?
You mean as in now, or the process that I went through to get to where I am?
No, just let's say somebody were taking a second to look through your eyes. How would you describe what it was like to be looking through your eyes right now as you speak?
Okay. It's like, there are days, what I call dark days. It's just dark. And in my left eye, I have a teeny tiny bit of light perception. Like if I look in the direction of a shining light or something glowing, I can dimly see the light coming from whatever that is. But other than that, it's dark. Then there are days if I'm outside in the sunshine, it looks like I'm walking through a cloud or a thick fog. It's real bright.
Okay.
So it all depends on where I am.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so if you were to describe how you look to someone who was totally blind like myself, how would you describe yourself?
Okay. I am 6 feet tall. Well, 6 feet and 1/2 inch tall. I have dark complexion. I have very light brown eyes. I have a bald head.
Okay.
I've been bald for years. And I'm very thick. I have a football player's build. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Okay. Look, you're painting the picture. I see.
Okay.
Okay, so we won't waste any more time, and we'll just go ahead and jump right into the meat and potatoes of this interview. So, like he said, guys, I actually had the opportunity to meet him on Clubhouse. Now, for a long time, I was so against even joining Clubhouse just because of kind of the stigma that I had heard about it. But I had the opportunity to meet him, and as you heard me mention in the beginning of the video, I referred to him as Scorp. And so, I guess before we kind of talk about the whole entire Clubhouse endeavor, where did you come up with the name Scorp from?
Okay, I joined Clubhouse. I was invited in back in March of 2021. That was during the time when you had to have an invitation to get in. I went in with my government name. Then I thought better of it. I started seeing people with, nicknames and all that good stuff. So I said, well, I'm going to change mine to the Scorpion King. D.A. Scorpion King. Okay. And I had that for the longest. And I started dropping in rooms and whenever they would refer to me, they're like, okay, the Scorpion King, okay. I went into one room and got real comfortable there, and they just started calling me Scorp. I was like, okay, cool. We can rock with that. So I changed my profile to Scorp, and I've been Scorp ever since. It's, again, the Scorpion King was my name, but Scorp is short for Scorpion.
Don't you know I'm terrified of scorpions? I just want to put that out there to everybody. I am definitely scared of scorpions. So, yeah, just little, tidbit of information. So, but what has your experience been like on Clubhouse? Has it really been beneficial? Has it helped you out any?
Yes, it has, because when I was told about Clubhouse, I heard about a lot of the technology rooms, which once I've taken my training from the Commission for the Blind here in South Carolina, and once I got onto a computer, which I had not a bit of knowledge of a computer back in the day, but once I started, I got hooked, and I would hear about the various rooms that they would put up about the different types of technology and screen readers and all of that good stuff. So I started, dropping in those rooms, and that's how I got started on Clubhouse. Then I found another side where the social rooms were, the clubs, and I ventured out there, and that's where I kind of got started.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew that when I had first heard about Clubhouse, I started off on Facebook. That was kind of like my introduction to the social media aspect of the blind community. And then it kind of branched out into other communities. So when I know you said something about having to have an invite to come in, I know when they lifted that, it seemed like there was just a big influx of people just running over to Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
And I had always heard so many things that I was kind of like, do I go? Do I not go? But to be honest with you, everywhere I've been so far has been pretty good. My experience, actually, I know that obviously being blind, some of our biggest concerns is it accessible? So for maybe somebody who is hesitant to reach out to or to, start coming on Clubhouse, is Clubhouse accessible for them?
For the most part, yes. I mean, if you're, with this new update that they have, when I first started, yes, very accessible. It was very accessible. Okay. And if you're used to that, and once they did the new update, it's basically the same, but it's a little new and a little difficult to navigate now, but they're working out the kinks, the bugs and the kinks and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Well, one of the things that I found out about you as the time has gone on, and it hasn't been that long, but you are a very, for lack of a better phrase, a very well-traveled man. I see that you have definitely have your hand in different pots, if you will, when it comes to interacting with the blind community. So, can you tell us about some of the things that you're actually involved in currently?
Well, what takes up a lot of my time, I'm a member of the South Carolina affiliate of the National Federation of the Blind, and I'm in several divisions and committees, which takes up a good amount of time, monthly meetings and all of that. On Clubhouse, I visit a lot of the blind social rooms, and that's where I met, as a matter of fact, that's where I met you.
Right.
But for the most part, it's social media, and the NFB.
Okay. So you are the president of the South Carolina division of the NFB. Your not division. What's the word I'm looking for?
Chapter.
Chapter. Yeah, your chapter.
Yes.
Right. You're the president, right?
Yes, I'm chapter president of the Hampton chapter of the NFB of SC. Yes.
Okay. So, what is it like being president? That's just so amazing. Like, what is it like being the president of a chapter of the NFB?
To be perfectly honest with you, for me, it's on-the-job training. Once I was elected, to tell you the truth, I had no idea what I was doing. I was assigned a mentor, and she has been helping me along the way, and I was getting advice from the veterans that have been in there for a good while. And again, on-the-job training, learning as I go, and I've been trying to tap into like various meetings and other things from the national level, which they would have presenters teaching you how to carry a meeting and how the voting process works and the Robert rules, during an election or making a motion to vote something in and all that stuff. So yeah, I've learned that through just sitting back listening.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but for the most part, yes, for me, it's basically on-the-job training because I've only been president since March. The chapter here has not been active for years, and I helped help reorganize the chapter here, and again, everybody in there is fairly new, so we're doing this day by day.
It's funny. I think you put a name finally to it. I always wondered what it was called. I've been to a couple of chapter meetings in my area, and the whole entire all in favor say aye. Put that. Let's put this in. I always wondered what that was called, and I always felt like every time I saw people doing this, like, ooh, this is official, like. Congress, House of Representatives type stuff.
Yeah.
So I've always looked at people who were on like a board or like a cabinet that kind of operated in that capacity as like wow, like that's so amazing. I often wonder if I would be able to do it, but it just always seems to be amazing to me.
It's a lot to remember. It really is. It's a lot to remember. But however, there's always somebody in the crowd to kind of guide you in the right direction. There's always somebody looking and watching. So, yeah. Got
you. So I know you're a part of a technology podcast. Is that correct?
Well, it's not actually a podcast. It's basically a group. Okay. It's kind of a spinoff from our computer science and technology division, which I'm a member of, and a couple of us, me and one other guy, we were talking one day. His name is Andrew. We were talking one day, and we thought that since everything basically is turning to like emails and this, that, and other, and the third, and we have a lot of senior members in the organization, and we thought that it would be beneficial if we would come up with a way to kind of help senior members who are not tech savvy, and that's basically how the group got started. And a young lady gave it the name SC Tech Talk, and we meet every Saturday on our NFB Zoom platform at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's every Saturday at 3. I don't have the information right in front of me, but to get you on the Zoom, but yes, that's every Saturday. But you can find it on our website at nfbofsc.org.
Got you. And I'll actually try to make sure that I put a lot of this information in the comments underneath the video for anybody who's interested as well.
Okay.
I do know that there's one more group, and I know I'm going to get it wrong, so please correct me when I say it. But I know that there's another group that's about leadership I want to say that you're a part of.
Okay. I'll save you the trouble. It's also a division in our affiliate. It's called South Carolina Association of Black Leaders. We call it SCABLE for short.
Okay.
I serve as second vice president of that division.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have never gotten that name. I'm sorry. And I feel so bad not being able to say that I will remember that. But
well, to be perfectly honest, it's fairly new because it was a group on the national level. Black leaders. It was it just started last year at nationals. Well, nationals when the NFB Nationals was in New Orleans. They just started the group, yes. But they had to end up changing the name because it was the same as blind lawyers. So it was, what was it? National Association of Blind Leaders, which gave it the NABL, but there's a National Association of Blind Lawyers. So they ended up changing the name to National Organization of Black Blind Leaders. Yeah, so they ended up having to change the name there. But yes, I've been a member of that on the national level. Nobody had a affiliate level, a group on the affiliate level. However, we were the first one, South Carolina, and I think we're the only one, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. So what exactly does being a part of this entail?
Well, it's a division that kind of teaches the leaders. Well, let me clear something up. You do not have to be black, just black, to get into this. It's open to everyone.
Okay.
Let's get that started. I'm straight.
That's good to know.
Any and everybody can come in. But it's an organization that teaches leadership skills and networking skills and that type of stuff, preparing you to become a leader someday in your affiliate.
Gotcha. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's very interesting. I didn't even know something like that existed.
Yeah, it's fairly new.
So one of the great things, or one of the common themes that I'm noticing when you're speaking is that obviously you are South Carolina. It seems like representative for everybody and everything. I told you guys he's got his hand in all kinds of different pots. But what is it like being blind and in the South?
Well, for me, here in the Hampton area, it's small town living for me, and that's what I'm used to, and I like small town living. The only downside about it, the resources are limited, as opposed to the metropolitan areas who have car service, like your paratransit and that type of stuff, or just public transportation, Ubers, Lyfts. See, we don't have all that here.
Okay.
So if you don't have family members with vehicles around these parts, you're kind of pluck out of luck. But yeah, it's in a way it's real helpful because here a lot of people, basically we're at a part where everybody knows everybody, so you can kind of get help if you're out in public or whatever. But for the most part, it works for me. I can only speak for Gregg.
Right. And that's I pretty much grew up in the South as well. And the reason why I asked you that question is because I've often got a lot of times like, oh, it's the South, like you guys don't have anything down there, and almost like we're going to like this vast wasteland, if you will, because we're in the South as opposed to up north or out west. So a lot of it really for me is just to kind of put out the narrative that we not at least in the South, because like you said, I'm in the South while I'm actually in Georgia, that it's not just this woe is me mentality in the South. That there are some different types of resources and things that are down here for us as well, and that even if those resources aren't available, we can actually still survive down here in the South. So
Right.
yeah. So that's definitely why I wanted to ask you that. But as always, as we get ready to come to a close, sir, I always give all the people who I interview the option to be able to ask me something. No question is off limits. So, go ahead.
Oh gosh, you're so dynamic. What will I ask Dominic? How did you get into this field here? Interviewing the blind and visually impaired.
So, when I lost my sight, I moved down. Well, I had already lost my sight, but I wanted to live independently. So I moved down to Columbus, Georgia. For many of those who don't know, it's about an hour and 45 minutes south of Atlanta. So, but I had never really been exposed to the blind community like that, especially not the blind community, on social media. So when I came down to Columbus, I actually had a friend of mine who actually introduced me or added me to a blind Facebook group known as Blind Pen Pal. So it was international. So, okay, cool. So I get in there, and there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of, blind and sighted people inside of this particular group. But when I tell you, it was almost like nobody knew anybody. So I had another really good friend who had gone live on Facebook one day, and I went in and was talking to him, and he invited me up. And so because it was my first time with me asking him these questions, he was kind of like, "Oh, you sound like somebody who would do great interviewing." So I was like, "Huh, okay." So, and then to add on top of that, like I said, because it seemed like so many people in this group really didn't even know one another, I felt like interviewing different individuals and giving them the opportunity to share their story might kind of tell a little bit more about them, but also spark the interest of other people to say, let me go figure out or ask or interact with this person to see what all we have in common or what they can provide or whatever the case may be. And then that was how This Is Us got started.
Okay. Cool.
And so, yeah. That was actually a really good question. Nobody's ever asked me that before, so yeah.
It would be me to do that, yeah.
Right. So before we get ready to close this out, if anybody would be interested in finding you or participating in any other groups that you are a part of or interacting with, how would they be able to find you?
Okay, you can find me on Facebook, which I am a Facebook junkie, at Gregg Jones. That's GreggJones. I'm known as 3G to some people. I'm on Twitter, well, X now, with just _Gregg 2011 handle there. I'm on Instagram, and my name escapes me right now because I don't use it that much. I'm definitely on Clubhouse, Scorp, SCORP, and I have another page as well on Clubhouse, and that one just Scorpion King. I've just been added to the directory for the affiliate by me being on one of the boards. So I guess you can look me up. The at-large chapter by me being second vice president there, by going to nfbofsc.org, and you can find my information there. And I think that's about it.
Okay. And I will definitely make sure, for those who are watching, I can actually put his information down in the comments if you guys would like to go ahead and follow, subscribe, or reach out to him. And yeah, as always, if you guys are not following or subscribing to this YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. Blind Justice, the way I see it. So yeah, thank you for coming on. I'm scared to call you Scorp because you know I got a thing about scorpions. So yeah.
Gregg will be just fine.
Mr. Jones. But thank you for coming on, sir.
It was my pleasure. I enjoyed it.
Alrighty. Well, alright, guys. We'll talk to you soon.